Hi guys, welcome to our next project. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a safe and effective face mask. So here is what we're going to be making. It is like a shaped face mask. We have an outer layer, a lining, and a pocket for you guys to put a filter in, because that's proven to be the safest when it comes to wearing masks. We also have a metal strip in the nose that'll help it contour. So I apologize, this video is a little late. I was thinking to myself, if I'm gonna have the students make a mask, I need to have them make the most safe mask you can do at home. So I wanted to do a lot of research before I actually made a video on creating your own masks. A lot of people are making homemade masks that aren't actually safe, or using like scarves or bandanas as masks, which have proven to be very ineffective and not helpful. So we're going to be making a mask that covers the three most important criteria. First of all, you want a mask that has a fabric with a tight weave, so something that when you hold it up to the light, you don't see the individual yarns making up the fabric. So cotton quilting fabric has proven to be a good material to use. You guys can use the muslin we have. It's not the thickest, but when we layer it up and add the filter, it should work well enough. If you guys watch that NPR video I posted, studies have shown that just using like 2 layers of fabric only prevents maybe 10 to 20% of particles. So that's why it's important to add the filter as well, or to add multiple layers of fabric. So number one most important rule, a tight woven fabric. Number 2 is that you want to have multiple layers in the mask to help keep particles out. And so these, I mentioned, and I included the link to these. I got them on Amazon. These filters have like 5 layers of non-woven material that'll keep particles from entering or exiting the mask. I'm not an expert at this, but I did the best research I could. If you don't want to purchase mask filters or don't have any, they've actually shown that coffee filters, and as well as the filter for a vacuum, work really well, and those you can just cut the shape out of and put in the mask. I did mention, and it's recommended that you use a different filter every time you wear a mask, just so you guys know, or that you're at least like, it should be one filter for about like 24 hours of wear technically. Same thing with washing your mask after wearing it. We talked about in class also, technically you can use interfacing in a mask that would work similar to a filter, but as I mentioned, some people aren't quite sure on if it's good to have the interfacing right up against your face and breathing in the adhesive from it, so that's why I'm not using interfacing in this tutorial. If you don't have coffee filters or vacuum filters, a heavy canvas material or a heavy denim material, if you take like 2 or 3 layers and put it in your mask pocket, can also work as a filter as well and is still breathable. So going forward with the tutorial, you guys will need the pattern. So I want to say I watched a ton of different videos to figure out what pattern I wanted to use. I wanted to use a tried and trusted pattern instead of coming up with my own for this, since it is like a issue of health. I ended up going with this pattern by Daisy Multifacetica on YouTube. So she has an entire channel and her own tutorials you can watch for extra help. I'm using her pattern and some of the construction ideas from her tutorial, so it is not fully my own, but I am adjusting it to go with what materials we'll be using. So I took the ideas I liked from her, as well as a couple other people, and my own ideas to make what I think is the best homemade mask option. So you'll want to print out the mask pattern. One of the reasons I liked hers was because she has like mask sizes extra small through extra large, as well as kid sizes. You guys might enjoy making these and might decide to make them as holiday gifts. So it's really great because you can make tons of different sizes of masks, ensuring that they fit well. Oh, that was my third criteria. You want to have a well-fitted mask. So I printed out the adult medium for myself because I have a larger head. So I think that worked best when I fitted it. It fit well. I actually thought I could go a little smaller, so for this mask I am trimming it down slightly. But I believe there are measurements posted if you need help figuring out which pattern to go with. But again, my sample is the medium, and you want to have a tight fitted mask, which is why we're doing the fitted shape and adding the metal insert so that you can form the mask to your face so you don't have a gap at the top of the mask with your nose and cheek. So you have your pattern. You're going to need fabric for the outside of the mask, inside of the mask, and the pocket. So basically, you'll cut out your pattern, and then you're going to need to cut out fabric for the outside of your mask. I have fabric here for my lining, and then for my pocket. I am just using 3 different materials in order to make it easiest to watch on camera, but you guys can totally make the mask out of all one material. If you want to make the mask all out of muslin, that's fine. I just recommend you labeling your muslin, so putting a piece of tape on it and writing on one like outer fabric, one lining, and one pocket, and that'll also help with knowing which is the right side or wrong side depending on which side you write on. You'll also need the 2 pieces of elastic that I included in your kits at the beginning of the semester. I like these elastics because they come with the fastener so you can make it tighter or looser. Again, so it's the best fitting. I hate when I'm out in public and I see people in their masks do not fit at all and are hanging off the face, so that part's important. And then as well as this little metal strip that'll go in for the nose piece. If you guys do end up wanting to make more of these, I had actually purchased these for myself back when the big pandemic began, but I just bought these right off of Amazon, as well as the filters. I'm not necessarily promoting Amazon, but it was the easiest way to get the materials quick and easy in a pandemic. So those are the materials you will need. So go ahead and cut your fabric out of, or pattern out of your fabric. You'll cut out your pattern piece when you are cutting your fabric. I recommend keeping the grid lines on the pattern piece even with the salvage of the fabric, so pay attention to the grain line and make sure you are cutting the material with the lengthwise grain going up and down. So you need 2 pieces for the outside of your mask, 2 pieces for the lining, and then 2 pieces for your pocket. The only difference with the pocket is it's a little smaller, so when you go to cut your pocket, you're just going to want to fold it on the second dotted line here. So just when you cut the pocket, it'll be about 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches smaller than the rest of the mask. Right, so get those 6 pieces cut out, and then we'll begin sewing. One important thing to add, and this goes for when you're sewing your mask as well, when you guys are cutting out your, cutting out your fabric, I apologize. If you have clips or pattern weights, you can use them, but technically you don't want to be putting your pin through the center of your mask fabric. You want to only be pinning through the very edge, which will be your seam allowance, because we don't want to create any large holes in the material that will let larger particles through. So just make sure to only be pinning around the edges, not through the center of the fabric.